Corona season's here. It's
You
the
know,
most wonderful time of the year. 4 rolls of toilet paper today. I've got 6 cans of tuna fish. I should probably get more tuna fish.
what are you binging on right now on TV?
Oh, well, of course, Tiger King. We just finished Tiger King. So I actually spent 6 hours in my kitchen going through every single cabinet, like just getting rid of things and then finding things that I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I had this. I could use this. And I started baking. So now to counteract the baking, I'm trying to get working out a little bit more. So I'm doing like online workout stuff. But my little guy, who's just turned 11, he wants to start doing at-home experiments, science experiments. So he came to me today with like, Mom, we need to get borax and we need to get this and I want to do this. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I think up next might be some at-home science experiments.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, finding things to do every day, especially now as we get deeper into what should be the baseball season and the weather's getting better and all that. It's tough to stay inside and focus on, making sure everybody's healthy and really trying to just keep an eye on everything that's truly important right now going on around the country and around the world. So, I'm reading books and I bought a PlayStation so I could play MLB The Show and it's the only game I have. Trying to just stay active and enjoy time. Get to be around my daughter more, who's 6 years old. So that's good. Normally, I wouldn't have as much time with her during the baseball season. So just trying to find the good parts of the day and keep on moving day in and day out until we hopefully get back to where we want to be, which is baseball field again.
My daughter's a little more getting a little bit more crazier, stir crazy than us, but I think luckily I'm working throughout the day, so I think that's keeping me busy. But my son's keeping busy playing video games, and he's a video editor and he shoots videos, and he also does photography. So he's been keeping busy with that, with doing stuff around the house or working on projects. And then he started redoing his room, and that got a little crazy, but it looks really cool. But my wife spends a lot of her time cleaning. She's been crazy cleaning, and also she does a lot of crafts and art. She goes crazy in there. She loves it. I've been watching old games. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of old games. I play PlayStation with my feet, and so I've been playing. It's called MLB The Show, and it's a Major League Baseball video game. So I play that a lot too.
It's weird, not being able to go out and see friends at a gym or just, lift things up. So you get creative. Everybody's familiar with that Poland Spring jug that you might have at the house. And that becomes my new best friend as a weight. A lot of lifting up my 4-year-old because he's 30, 40 pounds. So a few of these, I would do it right now, but he's napping. You get creative. I think that's the interesting thing just about being in quarantine in general is it makes your mind get creative in the sense of how do I keep busy or how do I keep some type of normalcy.
I was thrown into the guest room in my mother's house because everybody moved in right now. We all actually got the symptoms. We all got tested positive.
Wow.
So the whole house is pretty packing and busy, and my room is now taken by my nephew and my sister and her husband. So packed in this corner, but grateful. Yeah, I actually saw a meme around that had the high five as a GIF, me high-fiving somebody, and said, this is how the coronavirus got started. Now in quarantine, the power of Zoom is challenging us and getting more creative how we could connect with people, not through just touch, which I love doing, right? High-fiving, dancing with people, but how to communicate through Zoom and, social distancing. So, for example, this Sunday, we're throwing a national-wide pizza party, working with just collecting volunteers, getting the word out throughout the nation. And a lot of people are home alone, and we're lucky, Perry. We're lucky. We're surrounded by family, but there's many people who are quarantined by themselves, and that can be very, very lonely. Right. And so what we want to do is just help them with, some food, have dinner, so pizza and some drinks, and then as well as the people volunteer coming over to them, showing them a kind word. So we're gonna get volunteers throughout the nation. We're getting pizza guys, pizza shops donating pizza, and together we're gonna spread out, get people pizza, and then after that we're all going to go Zoom in live together to create the biggest large pizza party. We're going to have a live DJ, and we're going to have some music, some people talking, and we're going to party it out. How I'm keeping sane or insane in quarantine is I've been developing a screenplay. That's something I've been writing and taking time to write. So I think overall in life, things will evolve and things are changing. But I think the bedrock of it, the foundation, is always going to be the same, which is to inspire people, to include people, to break down walls, and just open conversation and just, show the more human side to all of us. But ultimately, that's all we are. But it is a blessing, because usually my life it's always moving and shaking. I never have quality time with my family. And when it is, it's like for a Shabbos, it's for a weekend. And it's like, how deep can I get? It's like, hi, bye, talking about, what I did this past week, and then we don't really deeper. And so this time has been a blessing to be able to go deep, maybe a little too deep, but like then we go and we just able to like have more conversation and really get real with each other, which is really great.
Yeah, I have muscular dystrophy. But yeah, so during quarantine, I've just been trying to get through it. I've had some crazy things happen over the past month. I got diagnosed with pneumonia early March, before everything went really crazy and people were locking down and staying home. So that was very scary, just with the climate and everything that was going on. So it took me 10 days to get over that, but I'm still feeling like effects and I'm still recovering from that. And last week, I had a scare. I had flu-like symptoms and my chest started hurting, and my doctor was like concerned. He said it might just be the flu, but we want you to get the COVID test. So last week I did that, and thankfully it was negative, so I can take a big sigh of relief. But I definitely had my run-in with the fear of the coronavirus, not just fear of catching it, but fear of, like, I thought I had it. I thought that I was in for a real fight, but thankfully I'm finally turning the corner and I'm feeling good. Yeah, so I am stuck here and I am trying to keep that creativity flowing, but I've definitely had a lot of trouble writing and getting inspired. And I don't know, it's just easy to do things like watch TV and just pass time when you're stuck at home and not doing anything. And it's easy to like fall out of that routine. And I think for a long time I've struggled with finding that inspiration and just coming up with material. But every now and then something happens in life where I have this idea, this light bulb goes on, and I just write some poems. And yeah, I mean, I've written a few over the past few weeks. Nothing serious. I'm still trying to write more and just get back to doing that regularly. But it's always difficult as a writer, to find that space where you can just write freely and create.
So it's just really a journey of my career to the Mets for 40 years. My 40 years working with Dwight Gooden and Strawberry and David and so on, and Terry Collins. And I just wanted to get down on paper, just really kind of hopefully inspiration to other young people that, my parents weren't rich. My father had no connections. I was able to carve out a career of myself in sports, make a nice living. So you don't have to be well connected. You just got to be a bucket ahead, do what you can do. And just kind of maybe an example of somebody picks something up from my career, my life, and it would make me really happy. Honestly, I kind of feel a little bit guilty. You know what the Jewish word "hawk" means? I mean, I don't really. It's kind of awkward for me to hawk my book right now because there are people out of a job, there are people are dying, and when I told the publishers I want to be very dignified when I do this. Maybe we'll do something later on in the summer or in the fall. I'm not really concerned about that. I don't be perceived as out there, trying to push my book when people in the job market. It's not really the right time to be doing this. So whatever I do is going to be really measured and with a message that I want to. Hopefully, the book will make people laugh and maybe even cry a little bit. But you know what I mean? I don't want to think like I'd be a shyster and go out and try to push the money, make money on the book, and I'm not looking to do that. I just want to make people laugh and and have some fun with it. And
I'm writing a new graphic novel that I have been working on because I've kind of taught myself to juggle. In December, I became a father. That's what I'm doing this whole corona, and it's wonderful, and I'm not taking a second for granted.
We're talking to these guys every day, and they're working really hard because we don't know when we're going to get the call that we have another little spring training here. So we're kind of planning for all scenarios that whenever the phone call does come, these guys are going to be ready. They're all working their tails off, and we're sending them, say one of their facilities closes down, we're filming them videos of, hey, this is what you can do in your home. Now, I filled a briefcase or a luggage full of books, and I've been working out with that, shooting videos of, hey guys, whatever you have access to, these are some things we can come up with, and to keep them going. These guys are prepared. We still have pitchers throwing bullpens to, sometimes their dads, their best friends, running out in the street. Some parks were closing down in Florida, so we had to get creative with that. So, but everyone's bought in. We had a great spring training. This is a really special team, so we want to keep that momentum going. And guys are really still motivated, still excited, and chomping at the bit here to play some baseball sooner than later. These guys are hungry. They're very ready for baseball and hopefully what's left of a special season, and they're taking it very seriously despite a lot of the obstacles that are, non-traditional training techniques we've had to come up with. And, every time MLB tells us anything new, we all come up with new scenarios of, all right, how much time would we need to safely build these guys up? So yeah, those are, I think, a lot of our concerns on the health and performance side is how do we keep these guys safe? Because, normally you have 6, 7, 8 weeks of a spring training. And if we don't have that amount of time, we want our players to be safe. So we want them to keep doing as much as they can, working out as much as they can, hitting, throwing, running, so that when we do start, it's safe on their body, their tissues, because it does take some time to adapt to get up to game speed. So these guys are working hard and staying as close to it as possible. And we're ready to go whenever it starts, when we get the call and it's safe. And, that's obviously first and foremost important, bigger than baseball. But when we get the opportunity, I think we're going to be ready to go.
I think Miami's doing pretty well, much better than the projections and whatnot. But I think as a running community or as an endurance sport community, I think I'm starting to feel a little bit of the antsiness. I communicate frequently with a lot of runners, and they are either looking for new places to run, dealing with things like where do I wear a mask? Do I not? So I find myself answering a lot of questions these days. I wish I had more definite answers, but my attempt at this point is that an attempt to make people panic less, have less anxiety. And I think Miami, we have beautiful weather. It's hard to be inside. It's hard to hold you back from jumping on a friend's boat and going to raft up at a sandbar. So there's a lot of temptation here. This is a city that, for it to stop enjoying life is probably not easy.
So today was the first day that they finally allowed, they made special exceptions for Olympic athletes. We can train now. But until this point, I was pretty much, and then the past week they said you could go 500 meters from your house and things were a little looser. I have very nice fields in my house, I live in a moshav, and we have miles of trails and fields. So I was running there. But before that, I just did all my running on the treadmill for 2 weeks. And I bought it was the first time I'd ever really run on a treadmill. I didn't own a treadmill. I had to buy one. Thing that I missed is having my regular schedule and training partners and group, and a lot of, I'm still training this, doing a pretty similar amount of running and workouts, but I don't always get to work out with my coach and the group. And I used to do strength training with a trainer, and I can't do that. So it's I'm making the best of the situation, I was actually scheduled to run a marathon on April 5th in Rotterdam, and my plan was to try and hit the standard of 2:29:30, but I didn't get to run that race. So now I hope the new qualification window for the Olympics only opens on December 1st of 2019. So it's unclear. I don't know when I'm going to do another marathon, because I don't even know what fall races are going to be like. I'm basically, the way I'm training right now is maintaining a strong base, so that at any point, when we figure out what our next race options are, I'll have time. I'll be able to, quickly do the marathon. I'll have 7 weeks to train for the marathon specifically, but I don't know yet what race I'll be doing at all.
You might be hearing that it's hard to adopt or foster a dog because everybody's home, so everyone's adopting and everyone's gotten a dog. That is true in the immediate sense, but as we get through this crisis, there's going to be more dogs being born. They're not going to stop being born and needing homes.
Right.
So, while in the immediate, because we're all home and able to take care of them, that's great. but let's keep that spirit alive when this thing subsides and we go back to our normal lives. That's probably going to be my biggest message from here until the next puppy bowl is making people aware of that, that spirit of dog care, rescue that's happening now. We need to have that all year long under any circumstances, good, bad, in between.
Yeah, Corona times and just any times when we feel isolated. And I think that's where I became stronger, inside of myself, because I got to a place where I got into faith and started operating in a different capacity and not looking from an earthly standpoint. I started looking from an eternal standpoint. And I think so many of us don't look from that. We look from what's here now and what's going to happen after, we cross over. This here is just a challenge. It's always been a challenge for every last one of us, because nobody signs up for difficult times, but they are there and they are real. And it's what we do with them and how do we make the best out of them.
Well, as you know, Elvis gave me all those amazing trips. Okay, so of course that's all on hold for right now. The whole world changed, and just like that, I had to make other plans. Being a minister, I rely very heavily on my love of God and my faith in God. And we've all been through so much, and I just believe that, this too shall pass, as horrible as it is, as much as it has affected my life and so many other people's life. I've actually had time to really sit down and use this time in a way that I would not have if I had the freedom to just get up and go and live life on my own terms. It's not easy sometimes, it's not easy. I know we're going to get through this. And I think that as horrible as this is, I think that people are going to grow in ways that they would never think possible. I think coming out of this, we're going to realize there's some things that were so important to us maybe 2 months ago that are not right now, and some things that weren't important to us are going to be important. I think that having time to self-reflect is good for the soul, and I'm determined to let something positive come out of this situation.
So one of the biggest things that we had, and this happened right before Passover, was an egg shortage. Right. And Passover is like the egg and potato holiday. Those are like the two essential ingredients in every single kosher for Passover dish. So I literally was crying at 2:00 in the morning. Like, I called my dad in Jersey, and he's like, "What's wrong?" Like, I'm like, "Everyone's okay, the kids are okay, but there are no eggs." And I'm like losing my mind. So it wasn't really that I was losing my mind over the fact that there were no eggs. It's like I was losing my mind over the stress and everything, and the fact that there were no eggs just put me over the edge, So there was an emergency airlift from Portugal, and we got our eggs in time, but they were being rationed for the holidays. So that was like a super stressful time from a cooking perspective. Now I find that there are no particular shortages. It's just that you don't want to go to the grocery store with the same frequency. So we're kind of just cooking from everything we have in the house to the last minute, being as creative as we can, because again, we don't want to leave the house unless absolutely necessary. And so it's kind of like I wanted to make a stir fry today. Well, I didn't have ginger, I didn't have chilies, and I didn't have sesame oil, that kind of thing. So I was like, okay, garlic, olive oil, and soy sauce will have to do. I didn't have scallions. I went it's like the list went on and on.
What I find is that, as I gave 80 meals today and to 3 different hospitals. As I did that, I was like, I wish I could give more, and I think there's something in me that, never settles. So if, let's say I complete something, I immediately look back and I think, could I have done it better, faster, more efficient? I don't want to, but subconsciously I apply that to this. So yeah, I'm going to feed 600 people this week. Could I have fed 1,000? Like what else can I do to up that and double that, 1,200? So I'm happy and I hope that whatever I'm doing is helping. It's not allowing me to celebrate it because I want to do more. Like let me feed 10,000 people. Let me feed the entire hospital. Like whatever. I don't know how to do it. Right. So it's more like I just want to do whatever I can, and unfortunately, this is all I can do. But I'm hoping that it does make some sort of impact.
These are the times where we hope to shine brighter than most days. What we're doing and what the people on the front lines are doing, I mean, there's no comparison. I mean, the people that are actually the healthcare workers, the essential employees, the people that are out there every day giving it their all, the transit workers, firefighters, sanitation, anyone, people, anyone who has to be out and is doing something, caretakers, and doctors and everything. They have important jobs. I think our job is to entertain and kind of keep the calm and again, inform people. And that it's, I guess, important, but but at the same time, but it's not to the level that everybody else is doing. I'm just happy to be a part of it in any little way that I can.
I think we should all come out of this quarantine together, come up with like 5 great ideas to change the world. 5 things that you can come up with to make things better and to improve our society, and things not just for you to work on, but for all of us to work on. We can all come out of this together and share these wonderful ideas we've had.
Love you as well. Take care, guys. Bye,
Thank
Perry.
you. Have a great day. Bye, guys.
You too.
Stay
Bye.
safe, you too.